Initially, when you bravely implement the no-contact rule, the narcissist often feigns indifference, convinced that you'll soon crumble. They gamble on your compassion, guilt, and longing for closure. They arrogantly believe they know you inside out and that you can't live without them. Hence, they often remain silent, like a cat lying in wait, expecting their prey to return in desperation. If you don't fall for their trap, the dramatic game of cat and mouse begins. However, this game doesn't always go their way. When the tiny mouse rises up and escapes their sharp claws, the proud cat feels confused and angry. Similarly, when narcissists realize they're losing control, a storm of emotions brews within them. They'll feel insecure, anxious, even desperate. Without control, they're adrift in a void, stripped of their sense of power and importance. But don't be fooled into thinking they'll give up easily. Narcissists possess a whole arsenal of cunning tactics to counter your no-contact. In this video, we'll unveil some of their most insidious tricks and equip you with sharp weapons to fight back. Awareness, resilience, and self-respect. Remember, confronting a narcissist isn't about engaging in the battles they set up, but about cultivating the strength to recognize and avoid their intricate traps. Before we delve deeper, let's affirm your inner strength together. Leave a comment saying, "I am not easily defeated." To assert your self-worth, and hit the subscribe button to not miss the upcoming videos where we'll explore and overcome toxic relationships, step by step, towards a truly free and happy life. Seasoned in the art of manipulation, narcissists initially dismiss your silence as a temporary bluff. They wager on your compassion, guilt, and yearning for closure to eventually crumble. They arrogantly assume they know you intimately, believing you can't survive without them. Thus, they often opt for silence, like a predator lying in wait, confident that its prey will return out of desperation. If you refuse to take the bait, the dramatic game of cat and mouse ensues. However, this game doesn't always unfold according to their script. When the seemingly insignificant mouse breaks free from their clutches, the proud cat is left bewildered and enraged. Similarly, when narcissists realize they're losing control, a tempest of emotions surges within them. They become insecure, anxious, even desperate. Without control, they're cast adrift. Stripped of their sense of power and significance. But make no mistake, they won't surrender easily. It's important to remember that narcissists are often impervious to the actions you believe will hurt them. Their emotional deficiency and distorted perception of reality render them immune to many conventional attacks. However, there's one thing that can genuinely wound them: your indifference. They might have seen you as a steady source of supply, and your withdrawal delivers a crushing blow to their self-esteem. No messages, no calls, no signs of wavering from you. At this point, their confidence starts to falter. By ignoring them, you're severing the lifeline of attention and admiration they need to sustain their fragile ego. A sense of unease creeps into their minds. Something isn't right. They become bewildered and disoriented. And with the survival instincts of a manipulator, they transition to the next phase, deploying subtle tactics, step by step, to lure you back into their grasp. In the initial stages of this psychological manipulation, narcissists often attempt deliberate change, targeting the emotional vulnerabilities you've expressed or complained about in the relationship. They'll vividly recall your words about wanting them to be more empathetic, less selfish, or more attentive to your feelings. This is a crucial step in convincing you that they are genuinely changing for the better, fulfilling the very expectations you voiced. For example, If you've previously expressed a desire for them to engage in charitable activities, to show compassion for others, they might start participating in such activities publicly. They might share on social media that they're donating time or money to charities, leading you to believe they've truly changed and become more empathetic. Or, if you've wanted them to be more mindful of their mental health and take the time to understand their emotions, they might start attending mental health courses or reading psychology books. They do this not out of a genuine desire for self-improvement, but to persuade you that they've become a better and more reasonable partner. However, this is merely a part of their elaborate manipulation strategy. Their ultimate goal isn't self-transformation, but to regain power and control in the relationship. They know that seeing them change will make you more susceptible to persuasion, forgiveness, and continued investment in the relationship. This creates the illusion that they're gradually becoming the person you've always wanted, but in reality, it's just a facade. Once they've regained your trust, they may revert to their selfish and controlling behaviors, as the true nature of a narcissist rarely undergoes genuine change. Understanding the true motives behind these changes is crucial to protect yourself from manipulation. Instead of being swayed by superficial actions, you need to analyze their behavior over a longer period, discerning whether these changes stem from genuine sincerity or are merely part of a plan to maintain control. The love-bombing tactic is the second step narcissists employ to lure you back. This isn't a genuine display of affection, but a carefully orchestrated performance aimed at re-establishing control. They might suddenly recall things you once loved about them and turn on the charm offensive full blast. For instance, you might receive unexpected messages filled with inside jokes only the two of you understand, or nostalgic photos of happy times. They might even engineer chance encounters that are actually meticulously planned, hoping to rekindle your longing. However, it's crucial to recognize that this isn't a true change on their part. These actions are calculated to make you doubt your decision, to make you question whether you overreacted by cutting ties. For example, if you once felt they didn't care about your feelings, they'll now try to do the opposite by showing superficial concern. Their goal is to instill doubt, making you think they might have changed. In reality, this charm is merely a surface, level act, devoid of depth. The narcissist hasn't changed. They're simply wearing a more convincing mask to deceive you once again. If this charm offensive doesn't work, they have a plethora of other tricks up their sleeve. It's like a cat and mouse game, where the narcissist refuses to accept defeat and even enjoys the chase. One of the more subtle and difficult to detect tactics narcissists often use is the bait and switch closure. This is when they pretend to want a clear and definitive end to the relationship, saying things like, "We deserve closure," or "I owe you an explanation." At first glance, this may seem like they're respecting you, wanting to bring things to a civilized and mature end. However, the true purpose behind these words is another ploy to reopen the door you've worked hard to close. When you've strived to break free from a painful relationship, hearing them talk about closure can be unsettling. You might start wondering if they've changed or if you should give them a chance to explain and justify their actions. This is precisely what the narcissist aims for: to create an opening to re-enter your life and continue their cycle of control and emotional manipulation. They know that by proposing a final conversation, they can soften you up, making you feel it's an opportunity to seek the closure you've longed for. For instance, if you agree to meet for closure, the narcissist might continue their game, wearing a new mask of remorse and self-blame. They might feign change and a desire for reconciliation, but in reality, their goal is to prolong the connection, creating a chance to control and manipulate you once more. So always remember, not every offer of closure comes from good intentions. Sometimes it's just a cunning trap to keep you entangled in the toxic web they've spun. If the above tactics fail to persuade you, one of the most insidious and subtle tactics narcissists use after a relationship ends is the fake it till you make it strategy. This is when they deliberately portray themselves as living their best life without you, often through social media. Suddenly, you see them posting a flurry of happy, joyful pictures, traveling, partying, or appearing alongside an attractive new person. These images are carefully curated to give the impression that their life has become perfect immediately after leaving the relationship with you. But don't be fooled. This isn't a sign that they've moved on, but rather a psychological tactic to hurt you and make you question your decision. In reality, narcissists have two main motives for using this tactic. First, they want to fill the void of supply. The attention, admiration, and dependence you once provided, they quickly seek a new supply, often a new person they can easily manipulate. They want to show you that they don't need you, that they've moved on to a new life filled with joy and happiness. But the truth is, this new person is simply another victim in the narcissist's manipulative cycle. And posting these pictures is just a way for them to build and maintain an image of power and invincibility. Second, the narcissist wants to make you doubt your decision to break up. When they portray themselves as living better than ever without you, it can make you wonder if your decision was wrong. For example, you might see them traveling to places you both once wanted to visit, or doing things they never did while in a relationship with you. These images are designed to tap into the fear that you've missed out on someone you might not have fully understood, causing you to feel doubt and discomfort. However, one way to recognize that they're not truly happy is when these displays become excessive or unnatural. A genuinely happy person doesn't need to constantly prove it to others, especially on social media. Narcissists often use social media as a tool to manipulate your emotions and maintain control, and the fake it till you make it tactic is a prime example of this. Remember, true happiness doesn't need to be paraded around for others to see. In some cases, instead of confronting you directly, the narcissist will opt for covert sabotage, a more subtle and insidious strategy. They'll embark on whisper campaigns, aiming to undermine your credibility and image in the eyes of those around you. Imagine them spreading baseless rumors, planting seeds of doubt about you among mutual friends or even your family. The scary part is, you might not even be aware of this happening until people around you start asking concerned questions, as if they're worried something's wrong with you. They might inquire if you're okay or if something's not right. Narcissists are skilled at painting a picture of you as unstable or your actions as irrational, especially after you've cut off contact. They might portray themselves as the victim in the whole story, sharing with others how deeply hurt and devastated they are by your sudden decision. But don't be mistaken, their goal isn't to clarify the truth or protect their honor. On the contrary, they want to tarnish your image, causing those around you to start questioning your mental stability and actions. For example, they might tell shady stories about your behavior, like how you've become distant, cold, or even exhibiting unusual signs after leaving them. These whispers spread quickly and subtly, creating suspicion within your network of friends and family. The narcissist hopes that by isolating you and making you doubt yourself, you'll feel pressured to return and explain or defend yourself. This is the trap they've set. They want you to fall into a sense of insecurity, wanting to clarify everything, and then they'll have the opportunity to reopen the door back into your life. Finally, when other tactics fail, narcissists often resort to a more potent weapon, emotional blackmail. This is when they truly take manipulation to a new level. Suddenly, their narrative revolves around their mental or physical health issues, or they start playing the family card. Questions like, How could you do this to your parents, children, or siblings? Are used to guilt, trip you, and make you question your decision. They paint you as the cold-hearted, cruel one, breaking up the family or causing rifts in friendships, even though they are the ones who contributed to those fractures. The most concerning aspect is that narcissists use your strengths, your empathy and kindness against you to manipulate and pressure you. The very traits they once exploited now become tools to pull you back in. They understand you have a good heart and are easily swayed by compassion, and they rely on this to make you feel responsible for protecting them or fixing the situation. They might say things like, "If you leave, I don't know what I'll do," or "The family will never be the same if you're not here." If you find yourself wavering in the face of this emotional blackmail, remember that the narcissist's feelings and actions are not your responsibility. They are using cruel tactics to make you violate the boundaries you've worked hard to establish. In reality, maintaining your boundaries is a sign of self-preservation and self-respect, not cruelty or selfishness. This is just another strategy to weaken you. But always remember that you are not obligated to carry their emotional baggage or continue this toxic relationship.